On April 29, 1770, the British ship H.M. Bark Endeavour pierced the foggy veil of the unknown and dropped anchor in Botany Bay. Aboard was Captain James Cook, a seasoned explorer tasked with charting the southern hemisphere, but what he stumbled upon would change the fate of an entire continent. To Cook and his crew, the land was vast, fertile, and seemingly unclaimed, a blank canvas ripe for empire. But to the Indigenous Australians who had lived there for over 60,000 years, it was home, culture, and sacred ground. The moment Cook stepped ashore, two worlds collided, one of ancient tradition and one driven by conquest. The area they landed in was inhabited by the Guigal people of the Darawal Nation, armed with spears and knowledge passed through countless generations. The Guigal watched the strange newcomers approach. What they saw was not a marvel of progress, but an omen of upheaval. Cook's journals mention natives who appeared timid and retreated from contact, but he downplayed their resistance. In truth, the Guigal stood their ground, hurling spears and defending their home. The British fired warning shots, and the imbalance of power was instantly clear. The name Botany Bay came from the rich diversity of plant life catalogued by naturalists Joseph Banks and Daniel Solander, who were awestruck by the abundance. Yet this paradise was already part of a living, breathing ecosystem managed sustainably by its original custodians. Though the landing seemed minor at the time, it planted the flag, literally and metaphorically, for future colonization. 18 years later, the first fleet would arrive with convicts in tow, marking the beginning of British settlement and the dispossession of indigenous lands. What followed was centuries of struggle, land theft, massacres, forced assimilation, and laws designed to erase Aboriginal culture. Cook's arrival is often romanticized as a moment of discovery, but for many Indigenous Australians, it represents invasion. And yet, the Guigal people's resistance that day at Botany Bay was not the end. It was the beginning of a fight for recognition, land rights, and survival. That same spirit lives on in movements across Australia today. April 29 is not just a footnote in colonial history, it's a turning point that demands reflection. It reminds us that exploration without consent is occupation, that discovery, when someone is already home, is not progress, it's a trespass. As we retell the story of James Cook's landing, we must also amplify the voices that were silenced. The soil of Botany Bay remembers both the footprints of an explorer and the defiance of its first defenders.